Hello everyone and welcome to Crafting with Amy. I'm Amy and today I have two Christmas DIYs. This first one is a gingerbread sign. I have this wood round and two gingerbread, but I only use one gingerbread man in this one. So I'm going to start by taking Mod Podge. I go ahead and do them both and applying it with this sponge brush to both of them, because at this point I don't know that I'm not going to use both of them. And I'm putting it on pretty thick. But I wanted to use the sponge brush so it wouldn't, these are like felt gingerbread men from Dollar Tree. And now I'm taking some cinnamon and pouring all over it. And then I just do the exact same thing to the other one. So these will smell cinnamony. And then I set those aside to dry. Clean up my mess. And I have taken this, it's faux leather from Dollar Tree, and it isn't an adhesive, but I did print it out on my Cricut to say gingerbread served here. And now I'm going to paint this with antique parchment by Barrel. But I don't have you watch that. Initially, I was going to use these little beads. But I changed my mind. And these are little candy striped looking buttons. The little kit had things with it you could put in there, but I wanted to do something else. So I'm going to take some, well, first I'm going to cut, for the icing effect, I cut this jute twine for the arms and the legs. Just for some dimension. I could have used some puff paint, but I just cut little pieces. And now I'm going to take some black puff paint and make the eyes. I do use the other one in the next DIY. And now I'm going to glue the little buttons. I keep sticking to them. I can't remember how many of these are in a pack. But it's like a little sewing kit where you can sew them together. And I think it even had some stuffing. And now I'm going to use some red puff paint for the mouths. And this reminded me of Mr. Bill, except they're not green, but you know, Mr. Bill's mouth. I think it was Mr. Bill. Oh no, Mr. Bill. I don't know. It was a little thick. And now I'm just going to glue these little pieces down for the icing effect on their legs and arms. I hope everybody's doing okay. So many affected by Helene. So many places affected. It's awful. So now I'm going to take this, it's Chestnut by Apple Barrel, and I'm going to dry brush around the edges and then dry brush the whole sign. And I think I showed me doing all of this, and I don't know why, because it's just dry brushing, and I'm using one of those brushes from Dollar Tree. Feels weird making Christmas DIYs. So now I have decided to just put one little gingerbread man down. I like that faux leather. I've used it before and painted it, but our Dollar Tree doesn't always have it. But it was the perfect color for this. I think some Dollar Trees have like different colors of it. And you want to make sure you get all that excess cinnamon off and let it dry so it doesn't go everywhere. And now I'm going to take, I start with this, it's just school glue from Dollar Tree. But I end up using super glue, wood glue. Didn't quite think that one through real well. That's a lot of individual letter gluing. And now I'm going to take, I normally would use my Easy Bow Maker, but just for a quick bow, I'm taking some of this, it's burlap ribbon, wired ribbon from Dollar Tree. and I'm making a loop and I'm gluing it. I'm cheating on it. If I were going to make several loops and stuff, I would use my Easy Bow Maker. So I'm just cutting off the excess, and then I take this, excuse me, I don't even know where that came from. It's not wired. It's red and cream or beige, rustic type ribbon. And I'm going to make a loop with it also and glue it. And it's smaller in width. So I just glue it down. And now I'm taking that lace ribbon from Dollar Tree, and it's even smaller. And then I'm going to glue it down also. This, I think, is still too big of a bow, but I wanted to use those colors. And now I'm just going to take some, I believe I end up using twine. I get my wire out, but I just use some jute twine. And tie it as tight as I can. I always love making gingerbread houses from those kits. I've never made actual gingerbread. And I don't know if I show it, but I do put a, it's a little button. It's kind of a brown button. And I'm going to put a hanger on the back. And that will be it for this one. I always make my hangers way too long, and then I have to cut them off. So that is the finished product, and yeah, I think my bow's a little bit too big. And this one is going to be another, well, it's gingerbread and cocoa. These are two signs from Easter, obviously. And I'm just going to take the bunny tails off. And then I soak them down and get all the gunk, because I'm going to attach these. But on the other side, that's going to be the back, I just put craft paper down. I don't worry about putting any, getting all the paper off. So I've soaked it down, and now I'm using my Cricut spatula to loosen up this glue and paper, and And now I'm going to take and cut off, I'm going to cut off the tag shape so they'll be rectangles. So I'm just measuring them where I want to cut. And this makes for a large sign. Of course, I let them dry before I start painting them. And this is the side that I'm not going to use, so I'm going to take some craft sticks and glue those down with super glue, wood glue, and hot glue to attach them. The super glue, wood glue is for a permanent hold, and the hot glue is for a temporary hold. So I take one and I place it there, and then I have part of one that I put up at the top, and then going horizontally I put one in the middle. If you all are new here, I want to welcome you, and I hope if you like the content, you'll consider subscribing, hit the notification bell, and leaving me a comment. And if you're a returning subscriber, I really do appreciate you all. So now I've covered it with the craft paper. And I usually do that with a glue stick. And now I'm taking lightweight spackling, and I'm going to fill in that gap where it will be smooth, where the two meet. And I think I put too much. And then once that dries, I'll sand it down before I paint it. That's what I like about these types of signs, because you can use them any time of year. So I didn't bore you with the painting of it. I painted it with 2 coats of the Antique Parchment by Apple Barrel. Now I have a solo cup, and I've cut it in half. And then I'm going to cut it down. And when I cut it down, I also I take the rim off, and I cut it down also. And now I'm going to dry brush with Antique Waverly Wax, or Waverly Antique Wax. I'm going to dry brush this sign. Like I said, this is a large sign. So you just do this to your liking, or you don't have to do it at all. And I have printed off North Pole old-fashioned hot cocoa on my Cricut. And I've already cut that cup down, and then cut the rim off. Or not cut it off, I pulled the rim off and cut it down also to put it back on. And I'm just going to glue it down. just getting the excess glue. And now I have, it's part of a snowman that I've cut off. And I glue it down in there once I get it out. Because I needed kind of a base and a filler. And I'm taking just some little pieces to fill in. And I took that Waverly Antique Wax and put it, I first put Mod Podge on the plastic cup. I don't know what happened to that. And then I took Waverly Antique Wax to kind of dirty up that cup. And now I'm going to take lightweight spackling from Dollar Tree. And I'm going to mix it up with some water. I never know how much to put. So I use water to, and you just do that to the consistency of like a whipped cream or something. That's the effect that I'm going for. And if you put too much water, then you put more spackling. It seems like I always either put too much or not enough. And now I have this bag that I'm going to use as like a piping bag. And it has a different type of bottom. So cutting the hole in the bottom of it was, I don't know how to explain it. It wasn't, it was kind of flat at the bottom or something. And now I'm going to squish it down. I guess it's a pleat, like it has at the bottom for stuff to, for it to expand. And I'm twisting it, and then I'm going to cut, you'll see here. Yeah. I'm going to cut the edge off. And now I'm going to start just piping it on like it's cake frosting or something. I'm having a time because that board is big. And I guess I made too much. Oh, and I didn't have a straw, so I took a little wood dowel and painted some stripes, red stripes, going down, and put it in there, and then let it dry. And it usually takes usually about overnight. So there's that other gingerbread man that I made. I'm just going to stick him there. And then I printed off these candy, or made these candy canes on my Cricut. And I'm going to put those on the other side. You want to put your straw in there before that, while it's still wet, so it can harden up around it to hold it up. I'm just going to put this down, and now I have this ribbon, but I only want to use the edge, so I cut it off 2 pieces for each side and glue it down, and then I make a hanger for it. And again, it's a large sign. So there is that one, and I hope you all enjoyed this. You'll have to let me know what you think in the comments. So you all have a good rest of your week, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you all for watching.